do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yes.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
Kids today, it feels like, decide that they just are owed things. You're not owed anything in this country. Then they also have instant access. They have phones all the time. They have laptops. They have, tablets. My kids, by the way, have zero of that stuff. But they're 6 and 8. I get it. I have a unique situation right now. But this is the kind of thing that really does destroy a society. And I think that there was a concerted effort on behalf of the Democrats to take over the educational system. Look at the teachers unions. Look at all of the education falls under their purview for the most part. It's no wonder that this is where we are right now.
Good morning. Today, Wednesday, August 5th, my name is Daryl Arnold. Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. That's DarylArnold.us. Also, we're broadcasting live at 104.3 FM in Central Mississippi at Pearl, Mississippi PMB. And you can check it out on all of your favorite live streaming right now at YouTube, Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Also, you could check out Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS and so many more. And then, of course, the podcast right after the show will be placed upon your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and many more. You can check those out as well at your convenience. Today, again, is Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. And again, my name is Daryl Arnold. You've tuned into the Unleashed, Uninhibited, and Unapologetic show, where we talk about everything almost. We're straight talk, real talk, no sugar added. The phone number and text number 601-918-8409, 601-918-8409, brought to you in this segment from Cypress Point Resort, the cypresspointms.com, and at Cypress Point MS on Facebook. Cameron's Garage on Instagram. So, hello. Is there anything going on in this midweek? Well, Michigan just pretty much fell to the insanity of identity politics, socialism/communism. All the votes are not quite in yet, but El Sayed, the Democrat socialists, are winning, ladies and gentlemen. They're taking over states like Michigan is a blue-collar state, okay? Real jobs, automotive jobs, real people that love this country. And now these type people are winning the races. What are we going to do? Well, one thing that I would suggest everyone do is look up the secret war on cash. You need more than just, some 401k or something. It's not the days of the past. It's a free report. No obligation, just information. SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. Because, listen, we're down to it where the dollar is dying. The dollar's dying, ladies and gentlemen. Cash is dying for sure. Cash is dying. So SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. As we get started this morning, 6:36 a.m., and that is Central Time. I do believe that they're going to go ahead and move that vote forward on permanently getting rid of standard time and sticking with daylight savings times year around. I do think that states, some of them, can opt out of that depending on what location they are. So it's not midnight before it gets dark and etc. So that's where we are on that. You heard opening the show, we heard Lara Trump speaking about young people with their cell phones, their tablets, their education from literally kindergarten all the way through college. It's a problem. It's been a problem. We've set back. I'm not saying that we've, automatically let it happen, but we have set back. Just keep calling and calling and calling and calling your representatives is what text I just got to put an end to the madness. Yeah. Keep calling the schools. Show up for your kids. Refuse to participate in making all of this stuff continue to happen. Thanks for the text, Joseph, and good morning, 601-918-8409. No one is owed anything, okay? Not anybody. Well, I'm not owed anything. You're not owed anything. Entitlement. If you don't want to go out and educate yourself, as far as college goes, then just go get a job. That's on you. And yes, the winners that have won in the conservative party, all they do is continue to piss off the wokeness. Of course they do. Of course they do, because we believe in small government and we believe in capitalism. That's the way it should be. Trump last night before I went to bed, which would have been Tuesday, August 4th, they came out with a new investigation story that once again a foolish idiot was caught near the Trump golf course, etc., with weapons and apparently strange information after they went and searched this person's place of where he lived, allegedly. So what the hell's going on with all this? What does this make now? Can we even keep up with it? How many times someone has come after President Trump? A lot, y'all. A lot. So President Trump spoke about this briefly. A heavily armed man was being arrested at at Trump's California golf club Sunday, which was ahead of his arrival, which was yesterday. And he said, look, the only thing I get is a little solace from is to say, hey, only consequential presidents have death threats. There's a lot of truth to that. Or assassinations or assassination attempts. Go back in history and check it. He's not lying. This was him speaking to Trace Gallagher late last night because they were on Pacific time in California. It was about 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central last night.
You need to hear hear that.
There was a threat. There was a man who was arrested, seemed to be heavily armed near the property here on Sunday. It's an ongoing concern, sir. Talk about that for briefly if we can.
Well, the only thing I get a little solace from is they say only consequential presidents. And I am definitely consequential. I mean, if you look at the economy, if you look at what's happening, Iran, as an example, will never have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, I would have to say that there has probably briefly only a very few times in history where there has been a consequential president. And all of them either were assassinated and or assassination attempts, including the current president, Donald Trump. So, yes, he's correct. In my opinion, he's very correct. But that's the truth. He's not making it up. I promise you that. Anyway, this was about 10:15 last night as I'm on Central Time. But so why do these things keep happening? Why? Because you have a bunch of left-wing lunatics and or Democrat Socialist of America or just completely mind-screwed idiot fools for attention. It's one of those. That's what it always is, ladies and gentlemen. They think in some sick kind of way that they're going to change things. They're going to make things different. They're going to be remembered as the person that took out a very consequential president. We have to continue to stand strong. Good job to the Secret Service and Trump's security team as well. Again. He went on to talk about blasting the, quote, Democrat Socialists of America. He said, I think it's crazy because they're going to ruin the country. And yes, they are. And they're creeping in and they're slowly getting in and they're getting voted in ridiculously somehow. Probably cheating. Anyone though, just doing what they're doing. These cities they live in, these cities that they become city council members and etc. That's how they get in, ladies and gentlemen, with the Islamic and with the Democrat Socialists of America, which is tied into the same exact ideology. That's what it's tied into. These are nasty cities. I've said it many times. These blue cities, worn out with homeless, mentally ill people, free this, free that. Never has it worked. So they've already done the test model. They've already done the test model on socialism, mini socialism. It's gotten them nowhere. It has gotten them nowhere.
What do you think about the traction these candidates who are backed by the DSA and are members of the DSA are getting?
Well, I think it's crazy because they're going to ruin our country. They want to, I don't know if they want to. I think either they're very naive or they actually want to ruin the country. No matter where you look, go back 1,000 years with different names, anybody doing what they're doing and what they're espousing, everything turns out to ashes and junk and filth. One thing I said the other day for the first time ever, never thought of it, but you go to these cities that are taken over by the socialists and the communists, they're always filthy dirty. They're disgusting. They're always dirty. And, I'm a clean person and people I know are clean. They like that. And you are. I know you very well. You're very clean. But they're, aside from crime, aside from all of the other problems, no jobs, no anything, no money, they're always filthy, disgusting, dirty.
This is true. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but I certainly have. We have a city that was taken over right down the street from where I'm broadcasting, a once beautiful capital city of the state of Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, ruined by Democrat policies, Democrat leadership and unbelievable corrupt crime mayors, city council members, district attorney. I see where Shokwe Lamamba Jamba, the ex mayor, has given up his quote license to be an attorney. Well, hell, they should take it from him anyway. They should have always taken it from him. But when Trump blasts the rise of the socialist-backed Democrat Party, he's not lying when he said, I think this is crazy because they're going to ruin the country. We talk about this all the time on the show because it's damn important. You may think because of a couple of TikTok videos that your kids and grandkids deserve this. They don't. And if you're young, you may hear the words free this and free that. You don't want it. You don't want it. It's never worked. Ever. We voted for Trump 3 times in my case to continue to drain the swamp. Is he doing 100% that? No. Is he getting a lot closer than any president probably in our lifetime? Yes. Probably. It's sickening though. It's sickening because I literally just got a comment while we were talking. While we were just talking just now, of course, these people never leave their real names. He said, coming soon, keep voting Democrat. Take a tour in Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah. They breed and you pay. I know what he's talking about, but just so you know, just so you all know what somebody sent me, I'm going to blast him. Actually, his name's Robert. They breed, you pay. They breed. They're taking over with the Muslims, and the Sharia law is coming soon to Dearborn, Michigan, and that whole area. Why? People have sit back and let it happen. You've been taken over by fanatics. You can call it whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, these are fanatical jihadists. That's what they are. They are jihadists. Good morning to Russ, man. Good morning to Missy. Good morning to Mike Silva. Good morning to Stephen SRS. Good morning to Robbie Cunningham. Thank y'all for joining. There's plenty more on YouTube Live right now. Mike Silva, NOLA, the New Orleans area. But yes, what we're talking about right now is that damn important, y'all. Okay? It is that important. It's time to wake up, get up, stand up, get registered to vote if you're not already. Vote the nut jobs out. Please do that. Please, please, please. Join us today at Grip and Grin at Mama Hamill's. It is the first Wednesday of every month. So today is the first Wednesday, August 5th. We will be at Grip and Grin starting about 11:15, 11:30, moving through the lunch hour with judges getting up and speaking to you about your concerns, etc. We'll have great fellowship with great food, great leadership, and great speakers. And that's at Grip and Grin. Check out at Grip and Grin on Facebook. And you'll see the event today at Mama Hamill's, Highway 51, Madison Ridgeland, the first Wednesday of the month around 11:30 a.m. Be there. Want to thank Bruce and all them putting it together. I'm sure Jimmy Nichols will be there singing a tune for us or either telling us a joke. So you don't want to miss out on that as well. There's a lot going on at Cypress Point Resort this week and or Cameron's Garage and the Tavern. And also we have extended the Cypress Point Safari 2-for-1 for the month of August. Incredible. If you've never been to the Cypress Point Safari, it'll blow your mind. It's awesome. It's fun for the whole family. We have the big concert on Friday. That's this coming Friday. It's finally here. The big Crossin' Dixon reunion. You remember them. You remember them well. It's $20 at the door. Opening the show is the Stevens brothers. They're storming the scene, big time blowing up, and this is their hometown. They're going to start early, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Of course, Crossin' Dixon will close the show down 8 or 8:30. You want to be at 874 Holly Bush Road, Brandon, Mississippi, at Cameron's Garage main stage. There's no tickets left, so it's $20 flat rate at the door. Don't miss it this coming Friday, August 7th at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point, and that's at Cypress Point MS on Facebook. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun. So you don't want to miss that. You absolutely do not want to miss that. So let's get right back into it as we mosey on through this. And we're going to talk about a little bit about this also after the break, because there was a lot of younger people may not remember, or even older people, Perez Hilton from the Hilton family, of course, who was in the early 2000s especially, was a big-time influencer before influencer was a thing. He was a content creator before content creation was a thing. He was a TMC every day on TMC for something, like all over the place, from politics to entertainment news to his, quote, gossip, end quote, sites. There was a completely insane situation last night with Perez Hilton. Now, if you can go out there and find the video, I recommend you don't. Of course, it was taken down, but it was up for almost 10 minutes before it was taken down. But yet TikTok takes my video down that's 10 seconds long if I talk bad about the Democrat Party. You can't make that make sense. But Perez Hilton was unclothed, insane, psychotic break, and tried to unalive himself, allegedly, online, on TikTok Live for the whole world to see. Now, this is madness. Okay? It's absolutely madness. And no one should be able to want to see that. Please do yourself a favor. Of course, TikTok took it down, etc., so on and so on. And here's Riley Gaines talking about
Perez
it.
Hilton video was one of the most gruesome, disgusting, horrific things I've ever seen. I wish I never saw it. Clearly, he was suffering some sort of psychosis or psychotic break. But I watched that video and I see like demonic possession. I don't know if he was under the influence of cocaine or drugs or alcohol, but I did know he has 3 kids. Apparently they weren't in the home, but oh my gosh, that was horrific. I just feel like we're at this inflection point And I know people have had like these mental breaks long before social media, but I feel inclined to believe that social media is a large part in whatever that was. I don't think social media like created the demons by any means, but I think it gave the demons an audience and a live mic. I don't know. All I know is it looked demonic.
Yes, I did, in fact, watch it. Always tell my friend when she asks me about certain Netflix shows or any other show that I may be watching, she will say, "Can I handle that one?" And I will give her the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Well, I'm giving y'all the thumbs down. I'm giving y'all the thumbs down. It's rough. Okay. It's rough. So apparently, and again, this is all allegedly, he has recently been saved and given his life over to Christ. Now, I hope that's true. I don't know that for sure. So it may have been a, quote, demonic attack, is what some people are saying. But TikTok needs to put out a formal statement of something as to why that it lasted so long. There are so many kids and children on TikTok. And why all the comments and the reports that kept coming back all this time saying, quote, no violation. And I can put up like a 10 to 30-second video of the wicked, ugly Dr. Anthony Fauci, and they pull my stuff down for, quote, community guidelines violation. Okay. Some people say that though he did, quote, and I quote, allegedly got out of the hospital because he had sepsis. Apparently, it can cause, and that part is true. It really is. I don't know if you've ever known anybody with that. Can cause a psychotic episode from medication. Yes, of course it can. Medication can cause a lot of stuff. But considering that he's recently converted to being a Christian, who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Those are all opinions. Now, am I saying we should get rid of social media? No. Hell no. Because social media gives me freedom of speech to express this show, to express all of our free speech. It does. But there are some barriers that have to be dealt with, and those are long-term barriers. We have been dealing with it for the better part of the 2000s at this point. So yes, there does have to be some barriers. And are they getting better? Yes, some of them are getting better. Even Meta is getting better. They send me reports all the time. They're getting better. They're also getting better cracking down on the human trafficking with children. They are getting better. Is it 100% working? Of course not. Of course not. But they are getting better. And we are at the top of the hour on the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. Stand by.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time. yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Right, top of the hour, 7:02 a.m. Central Time, Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Thanks for all the new sponsors, especially on the podcast. We really appreciate all that as well. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that August is here. It's my birthday month, my birthday celebration. The annual official birthday celebration is actually on the day of my birthday this year because it happens to be a Saturday. Anyway, it's going to be Thomas Kane, music from Thomas Kane. You ever check this band out? They're incredible. August 22nd, that's Saturday, August 22nd, Cypress Point, Cameron's Garage, the big annual Daryl Arnold / Dirty D, whatever you want to call me that starts with a D, except for don't call me a dick. And that's going to be on August 22nd. Don't miss it, please. So, Francesca Hong, Hong. It's not Michigan. We're moving over to Wisconsin now. Moving over to the right, left, or right above. Francesca Hong from Wisconsin faces scrutiny over her comments. And you know what? She should. First of all, this chick's from Korea. What in the hell does she know about socialism? What in the hell does she know about anything regarding the United States of America? And she's running another Democrat Socialist of America campaign. This is getting out of hand, people. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's true. Getting way out of hand.
When we're
I want you to listen to this. I had to beep it.
We say it's 86th, and I'd say it's about time we 86 Trump. He represents the utter failure of our government to keep us safe from threats, both viral and systemic.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you heard that, but she works and has worked, in the restaurant industry as a chef and other things in the kitchen. So we all know that 86 means, quote, get rid of it. Because we're that's what happens in the restaurant. 86 it. Here, she's another fool.
In the restaurant industry, when we're out of something, we say it's 86th, and I'd say it's about time we 86 Trump. He represents the utter failure of our government to keep us safe from threats, both viral and systemic.
This is all true. This is happening in the United States of America right in front of our face. We're going to continue to support the madness. or are we going to stand up to the madness? We have to stand up to it. Alex Marlowe, very smart on this topic, talks about the very audio clip that I just let you hear.
Right. So he should kill Trump. That's what it means. 86 means eliminate. And it's about effing time because that's cool. You say a bad word in there. It gets bleeped out for the radio, but the F word is implied in there. If you guys don't think she's nutty enough, play cut 17, gentlemen.
A post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
She does. But not only that, she went as far as saying Christmas and Valentine's. What the hell is wrong with these people? And she also said, quote, I don't like fireworks. So I guess that would mean July 4th. Would that mean New Year's Eve? I mean, who's supporting these nut jobs because they're freaking winning? Zach Bridges in the house this morning. Who would completely still support these people because they're winning? Somebody's supporting them. It's pretty scary, isn't it? It should be. It should be a wake-up call. You should grab the Visine. You should do homework on socialism and, quote, communism. Kevin Axton, Chris Martin, thank y'all for joining this morning. Yes, 601-918-8409 is the text line. Just got a text from David Hall. When elected representatives, regardless of them being congressmen or senators, not only purposely fail, but actively refuse to carry out the will of the people, shouldn't they be, or shouldn't that be rather, considered a criminal act and treated as such? Well, thanks for the question, David. And I happen to say yes, it should be. It should be, because the people are bringing these people in to represent our country. And people are going, well, I live in Mississippi, I live in Alabama, Texas, whatever. Well, first of all, Texas, you better be real careful. Real careful, real soon. And it does affect all of us. These are people running for senators and etc. They will go up on the hill and cause madness and chaos. It's what they do. It's what they freaking do. Period. There's no if. It's a matter of when. It's a matter of when. But listen and understand, people, that communism is not for us. It is not for us right here. I've seen so many clips of people who lived under communism. Fox News did a great job last week of bringing on different groups of family members and etc. that had lived under socialism / communism. And they're telling these foolish people from the Democrat Socialists of America and the people that follow their whatever in the hell they're trying to do, that you need to understand it does not work.
You think I'm a little emotional? Yeah, damn right I'm emotional, right? Because my family came here seeking freedom. And I'll be damned if I'm going to have to pack up my family to look for freedom somewhere else. By the way, where are we going to go? And so, yeah, bring it on. I'll fight the communists to the death because I know what it brings. I know what the future it will bring to my children and my grandchildren, and it's a pack of lies. And people that believe in this ideology are one of two things. They're either idiots or they're evil because they want to take your freedom away.
That's it. They want to take your freedom away. In your free grocery store or your discounted, quote, city ran grocery stores like Zoran the Moron Mandami has in New York City, those are all closing down everywhere. Chicago tried it. 7 of them closed in Illinois. Other states tried it. They went out of business. It doesn't work, y'all. Grocery stores, anybody that knows anything about running a business such as a grocery store knows that it is a very thin margin for profit, like 1%. So when you go below that, you're just losing money. But Zoran, Mandami, and socialists like him, they don't care because it's the taxpayer money. But then when they tell you they're running short on food and all, guess what? Then it'll be, oh no, you're only getting 1 gallon of milk, 1 package of hamburger meat. You can't get more. Okay, that's the way it starts. That's the way it works, and that's the way it ends. And it ends in freaking chaos. It ends in chaos. It's shocking, though, the amount of people that are voting for this. A true patriot forced McKinney over in Texas. An imminent jihad threat. Jessica Hosley stood before the city council and refused to let them forget history. She reminded them that of November 13, 2015, Islamic massacre occurred in Paris. At least 12 terrorists murdered 130 people and injured 683 more in the name of what? Allah. It was so brutal, excuse me. And they described it in laughter, y'all. This is sick. This is what's going on in Texas. These mosques, these proposed new mosques, and these teachers of the Quran, and actually these jihadists. It really is the truth. Okay. I'm not talking bad about people, but it is the truth. Like it or not, it's the truth. The Trump endorsed Senate candidate Mike Rogers in Michigan, it's going to be on him now. It's going to be on the great people of Michigan to bring in somebody with common sense. People are ready for a change in Michigan. He said that, for 10 years they've been in charge, the Democrats. This morning, he said this.
In every high school in America, we need the skilled workers. Man, is that popular across the state. People are ready for a change in Michigan, and that's what people have to understand. Democrats have been in charge here 10 years in Lansing, or better part of a decade, and over a quarter century in the United States Senate. And only thing has happened is we are worse in every metric category we have here in the state. And here's the big one, Lawrence. When I get all around the state, talk to Republicans, Democrats, Independents, whoever will talk to us, they have tears in their eyes when they're talking about their kids and their grandkids leaving this state because there is no more opportunity.
Yep. Sad news. Sad news. But as of a few minutes ago, Michigan high-profile Democrat Senate primary with Abdul Assayed and Haley Stevens remains locked in razor thin, with both candidates arguing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So the comeback, though, is canceled in Missouri, and that couldn't make me happier. We all remember the former squad member with AOC and all of those idiots, Cori Bush. Well, she thought she could just come back, Cori Bush, and be in the Senate, and get her House seat. Didn't happen. She got beat by, I don't know what, 30 points, maybe even less. I mean, more. Yeah, she got beat 59-36 by the incumbent. Good. She didn't need to come back anyway. She said, we're heartbroken over this loss and heartbroken over the fact that special interest groups can still buy elections. You know what? I just don't think people wanted your nonsense anymore. You showed us in the past you had your shot. You had your shot. Not only did you have your shot, you took your shot. Too bad. Too bad. So, these liberal Karens, these progressive Karens, there's another progressive Karen alert for you. A woman tells a Trump supporter that he isn't allowed on a public, PUBLIC, sidewalk. These people are insane. Okay? They think they can tell you exactly what to do, and you're going to follow their rules. You don't belong here. Now, look, she may have a permit to have an event, but the freaking sidewalk is not included in permits. But they wouldn't understand that. They're too dumb. But permits don't involve the damn sidewalk, which is public.
You are a Trumper. You do not belong on my side of this sidewalk. It's freedom of speech. But when I have an event, you have to be on the other side of the sidewalk.
That's fine. This is a public sidewalk.
Yeah, but not when we have a permit. It's not.
You don't need a permit to be on a public sidewalk.
I have a permit to be here. So if
you don't
I have
to have a permit to be on a public sidewalk.
But we have one.
For an organized event, you're potentially impeding some traffic.
Yeah, but we're not impeding traffic. We're not in the street.
You just said people can't walk on this sidewalk. Foot traffic.
Yes. And they can walk on the sidewalk. They're walking.
So why can't I walk on this sidewalk?
Because you are at my event and you don't agree with my stuff. You cannot infiltrate my event near my ice cream tent.
Did you organize this event?
I did.
Okay, I have every right to be here just as you do.
Not on my event in my permit.
I do.
No.
I do.
No.
Respectfully, I do have every right to be here.
Are you a Trumper too?
Absolutely. Two, is there somebody else here who's a Trumper?
Yeah, you're running around talking to people.
I'm not running. I'm walking. Are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely not.
Where's the other Trump supporter? Where's the other one? Okay.
These people are lunatics. You do realize that. That is a perfect definition of double Karen zone. He was in the double Karen zone. And these people think because they had a permit that you can't be on the freaking public sidewalk. She's an absolute idiot. Okay? Need I say more? Need I say more? No, I don't need to say more. I could sit here and pick on her. But the truth of the matter is, she's an idiot. That's the truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, the very truth of the matter. And, it's not like we're lying to you, okay? It is what it is. Period. It is what it is, period. And what are you going to do about it? Ignore the freaking noise. But when you get a chance, please talk some of these younger people into common sense, ladies and gentlemen. Allow them to understand the what will really happen if they go to the communism? What will really happen? A lot. It's DarylArnold.us, and that way you can choose any player you want to listen. Daryl Arnold, that's DarrellArnold.us. We'll be right back.
We all make promises, big and small.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I do solemnly swear
to help you when you're in need,
to be considerate and caring, to be your loving, faithful friend,
partner,
child, parent, neighbor.
One of our most important commitments is to support our nation's veterans. Learn how you can help a veteran going through a difficult time by visiting maketheconnection.net.
Pearl, Mississippi. Are you looking for something sweet and homemade? 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl Municipal Broadcasting, and Main Street Pearl is proud to spotlight Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory. Come discover Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory, Pearl's newest treat spot at 2860 Highway 80 East. Everything's made fresh in-house. Creamy ice cream, fruity popsicles, classic banana splits, ice cream sandwiches, fluffy pancakes, refresher drinks, and loaded snacks like chips and noodles with all your favorite toppings. Follow Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory on Facebook for hours, location, and specials. Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory. Life is sweeter here.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
7:23 in the morning. It is Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. It is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold, syndicated live on all the radio apps and 104.3 FM. And then, of course, the podcast is added about an hour after the show on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartMedia, and so many more. iHeartRadio. It's crazy the amount of podcast platforms that have picked this show up. Working on new ones every single day. Also, if you want your business locally to blow up, and I don't mean that as in blow up, but if you want to get noticed, you want to get more busy, you want to get better business, holla at me and we will set up a marketing promotion plan for you. 601-918-8409, 601-918-8409, and we'll do that for you and with you. So let's highlight Pearl real quick. Electrical services and solutions right here in Pearl, Mississippi. Electrical services and solutions, Central Mississippi. Check them out. Electrical Services and Solutions LLC on social media. Plus, you will hear their audio ad ran on this show. They're locally owned, but they cover really anywhere in Mississippi. But they are locally owned, veteran owned. Electrical Services and Solutions LLC. 7:25 in the morning. All right. So we were just talking about disgusting Karens. Disgusting Karens. Well, that's true. That's true. Do the socialist, it's a question for y'all. I got wicked smart listeners. Do the socialists hurt the Democrats in the midterms? Do they? Some people say they should, you know what, go form your own damn party, Communists of America Party. The Communists of America, and it will do well. It will get about 10% of the vote. Yeah, that's true. That's it. Democrats are falling right now for communism. They, in fact, must be defeated. Must be. I don't know. What I do know is, I know people say, well, you know, they're not coming down south to Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and so on. Yes, they are. They're already here. They're already here. They're here now. They do it like 20 years in advance. This doesn't happen overnight. This doesn't happen overnight. And the amount of fraud in this country, mainly by the freaking Democrats, mainly by the progressives, has been insane. Dr. Oz, that whole team has been working their ass off to bust wide open the fraud that's going on in this country with, quote, reasons that they put are, quote, illness unspecified, end quote. Really? 96% of personal care claims are filed that way. Illness unspecified. Give me a freaking break. Give me a break. Well, Dr. Oz and them are starting to figure out the scam.
Government's data on Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania ranks 5th nationally in average monthly payments, both per beneficiary and per provider. That is way out there. Be number 5 in both those categories. More expensive, that is, in 45 states. Over 96% of personal care claims here are illness unspecified. That's how they're titled. So we can't track them. It doesn't help if the U.S. attorney or the attorney general can't possibly find the fraud because people aren't actually telling us what they're really doing. We have to change that history that's evolved here into the norm. And finally, average payments per beneficiary, more than $50,000. Think about that, $50,000 per person getting home care in the state on average, far above what you'd ever expect. All this points to fraud. The cases like these are exactly why a whole government approach is so critical and why we have to develop best practices of how to evolve this system. Another problem that's a big one in Pennsylvania, which is autism care services, and why they're, again, not only are they off the chart in Pennsylvania, but the rest of the country, but we are actually here to help. We're giving you a toolkit that will allow the state to be able to tell what's good, what's not, what's foul, what's fair.
There you go. I was quite unsure about Dr. Oz in the beginning, but you know what? The guy's doing a good job. The whole team is. The whole team. People have been saying this for months, for years rather, about other states too, like Ohio, Pennsylvania. The same vague code. Same untrackable claims. The same 6-figure payouts, ladies and gentlemen. Your money, your tax money. So, what the hell is unspecified mean? It's another way to cheat the system, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up. It's another way to cheat the system. the administration that has been running this system for years, and these states have allowed this to happen. They have allowed this scam. So basically, illness, quote, unspecified, is the new secret handshake for the free vacation to the Bahamas. What is it? The card you get in the mail? Sadly. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers, currently with my favorite team, the Steelers. Not so big on his quarterback work the last few years. But he did go on ESPN, and I bet they're literally bedwetting pants and fully clothed outfits and flipping out on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN. McAfee said, how do you view this year versus maybe the years of the past? Well, I'm going to play a sound bite and let you hear what Aaron Rodgers said, how he views this year coming up of NFL football versus the past years. You decide.
Tony Fauci is an absolute criminal.
Can you tell us about the mindset of coming into your last season? Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay. Like
gotta
love that guy. Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
Eric's back, Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You got a
times.
pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times at the White House. What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend at that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard
I
anything.
bet they didn't.
But on that note,
Then there was another scandal this offseason, too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Where's your cap? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network.
Slamming ESPN on the spot, baby. Gotta love that about Aaron Rodgers. Whether you like him or not, you gotta love the honesty. Okay? You gotta love the honesty and not being scared of these varmints. Not being frightened of these varmints. That's what they are. I wish we had some of Aaron Rodgers' backbone in politics. Wouldn't it be nice? Especially John Thune. Wouldn't it be nice? But good for Aaron, because he took endless crap for standing up for his personal health choice back in the, quote, COVID shutdown of America pandemic, which he turned out to have the right answer the whole time. And so did I. And so did many other people. So did many other people. But anyway, Aaron Rodgers for the win. Now let's just get you to play quarterback this year for the Steelers like that, with that same attitude, the same attitude. But I'm going to plead the fifth. That's all Fauci said, all day, every day. Now Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, and others, or this coming Thursday, which is tomorrow, August 6th, they are going to charge Fauci with contempt contempt. See how that works. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. Because he's had about, 12 boosters by now? 12 boosters by now? Probably so. Probably so. 2026, the new rules of the music industry. Talking to a lot of musicians, as I'm always at Cypress Point / the Tavern in Cameron's Garage, about how modern business rewards artists who can create evidence before the industry even gets involved. That's just the way it is now. There's no such thing as rolling into Nashville, Los Angeles, New York, any city for that matter. You can't roll in what we used to call make it big or get signed and get a big video and all that. It doesn't work that way anymore. Doesn't work that way anymore.
Music industry is not waiting to discover and develop artists. It is looking for artists who can prove that momentum is already happening. After 40 years working with hit artists, songwriters, labels, and publishers in Nashville, here are 5 rules every developing artist needs to understand. First, labels usually amplify momentum. They rarely create it from nothing. Second, social media is your first audition. Your content shows whether people understand, remember, and care about you. Third, views are not enough. You need fans who share your music, use your sound, join your list, attend shows, and buy something. Fourth, streaming is one part of the business, not the entire business. Build direct relationships and multiple sources of revenue. And 5, independence gives you the ability to test, learn, and move quickly, but only when you have a clear system. The old model is wanting to be discovered. The new model is building an artist ecosystem that the industry cannot ignore. In 2026, the music industry is not waiting to discover and develop artists.
That's right. They're not sitting around waiting on you. You have to be on top of your game. You have to make things happen. Now, I know most of you out there know that, but just in case, those are some reminders from an industry professional that is doing the quote music business end of it in 2026. So, no, some of that hasn't changed in the last 10 years, but that is a stark reminder of how things really work. That is a stark reminder of how things really work. During the campaign, leaked audio from Abdul El Sayed campaign, which came out, in which he was worried about commenting on the death of the Ayatollah because he didn't want to offend his own supporters. Look, this guy can't figure out what side of the ball he's on. Apparently he can't. He can't figure out what side of the ball he wants. So this one's close to our heart. We all know our friend Renee from locally here who does wonderful things, great things regarding fentanyl and getting the message out to all the parents and not just the parents, the young people, the old people, and the people in between. But the fentanyl deaths have come way down in this country since the border has been closed. Now, you don't have to believe me because the numbers back it up, ladies and gentlemen. That was one of the sole promises from the Trump administration, not just Trump, all of them, that closing the border was so very important, and it's what millions and millions of people voted for. On that, they did. But since the borders closed, tens of thousands of people have been saved regarding fentanyl. It's just the truth. So if you're not involved in something to let the younger crowd realize that anything they do nowadays could have fentanyl in it, whatever drug they may be using for fun, F-U-N, might not be so damn fun. It might have the very poisonous to the body, mind, and soul, physically and mentally, fentanyl in it. But as Trump touts closing the borders, it's very important to know that the fentanyl crisis has slowly gone down. And that's great news. That's not bad news. People dogging out this gentleman for doing that. Come on, y'all.
You think that nobody is talking about the fentanyl deaths. The fentanyl deaths have come way down since the border has closed. It should be one of those prime topics because we have saved tens of thousands of lives in the short period. You look at the numbers from just a couple of years ago, they have come down dramatically. It doesn't seem to be a topic.
68%. I'll tell you what, by sea, by ocean, 97.2%. 97%. Now, you've seen the pictures of the boats, and it's all horrible. But when you think that each time you knock out a boat, you're saving 10,000 people, more than that, probably, they say 25,000. They're carrying massive amounts of fentanyl. And that's an occupation that's very hard to fill right now. Nobody does it. Nobody would have done what I did. But we're down over 97% in drugs coming in by sea.
Amazing. It's amazing feat. Of course, the Democrats will take this in a, quote, another general way. They'll take it like spin it. It's what they always, in fact, do is they spin the words to fit their sick agendas. And I said it. Not ashamed of saying it. Not ashamed of saying it because their agendas make no sense, ladies and gentlemen. They don't. They make 0 sense. Democrat Representative Debbie Dingell, what a dingbat, pledges to support Abdul El Sayed, who called to defund the police if he wins the Senate primary. These are, we have Chuck Schumer said, we have the big tent party. His big tent party is going to be the demise of the entire Democrat Party is what it's going to be. Because they don't like the Democrats. The Democrat socialists don't like the Democrats. They really don't. And they don't just not like them. They tell you they don't like them. They tell them they don't like them. Okay? But I think it's very important to remember what they're doing. This will go down in history. Abdul El Sayed gave his, quote, semi-victory speech, semi, because it's not official yet, because, these states take so long to count their votes. Let's listen into this part.
Win this race. How are you going to beat Mike Rogers and their money? I want you to remind them that if we come through this, when we come through this, inshallah, that will have taken.
Listen, I
Crazy. I want you to remind them, inshallah. What? I mean, what? That's what he said, though. The theological and historical differences from the Muslim expression are clear, y'all. They're very clear. Allah be praised. So that's it. This little inshallah that he dropped there tells you everything. This is an Islamic takeover, not a political race of legitimate Americans. This is not Democrat versus Republican even. This is Islam conquering the United States, using our political system with all of its, quote, liberties to subvert and usher in Islam. Very true. Very true. Taunting Americans. There are 70,000 people that voted in Michigan for this guy, and what the hell is wrong with them? What are they looking for? What is their ultimate goal? Communism? What is it? It's craziness is what it is. It's craziness. Also, yesterday, ICE is arresting illegal immigrants at a record pace. The agency made roughly 51,000 immigration arrests in July. That's right. Federal sources say that. The highest monthly total in its history, and an average of about 1,645 arrests every single day. Now, it's also the second straight month that ICE has broken the all-time record, which was 43,000. The Trump administration continues to be aggressive on the immigration crackdown. The surge comes as thousands of new ICE agents hit the streets, and the agency receives new funding during Trump's second term. Well, good. Fantastic. Great. Well, I will say this, the additional money that they were, expanded their team there, helping fuel this expansion of hiring and the enforcement operations nationwide. It helped do that. As a matter of fact, it did do that. And we're grateful for that as an American citizen. And these people who want to harm ICE or defund ICE or get rid of ICE and cops and get rid of this, get rid of that, and they want to defund the police. I mean, when somebody breaks into their home at night when they're sleeping, I've heard journalists ask these Democrat socialists and these other freaking Fruit Loops, what are you going to do then? Some of them have the nerve. Some of them have the stupidity to answer that question by saying, well, we've found in the larger cities like Los Angeles and et cetera, and Seattle, that we still do better with the, quote, counseling part than we do with the, calling the actual police with weapons. Shut the hell up. You say that until something happens to one of your damn family members, and we'll see what you say then. We'll say what you say. We will see. We will see what you say then, my friends. And no, you're not my friends. But we'll see what you say. We'll be right back.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
We got a few more minutes, one more segment left in the show today, Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. And like I said, if you want to listen back to this on any podcast platform and or YouTube, it's real easy. You just go to DarylArnold.us. That's DARRELL, DarylArnold.us. Click on that and you'll see YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, so many more. Apple Podcast. Real easy. Couple of clicks and you're there. Want to thank the audience building at 70,000 downloads this week. 76,000. We're just talking about the additional money that helped expanding and hiring the enforcement operations nationwide for ICE. Good. Good. Well needed, actually. Well needed, actually. Very much so. So as we talk about all of these different type stories, we're going to run with a couple of different stories to end the show today. First of all, The Boys of Summer. What a big song. Of course, you know, a couple of rock bands have redone it and etc. Don Henley from the Eagles released that back in, I forgot exactly the year, but it was a huge, and I do mean huge, hit. Now, this medley and all was actually written for Tom Petty, which he passed on. Let's get a little brief history on The Boys of Summer by the man that actually made the song happen.
What happened with Boys of Summer? Well, Boys of Summer was written by Mike Campbell for Tom Petty. And Tom didn't want to do the song or didn't hear it. Don did. He wrote amazing lyrics. Mike had the whole thing programmed in what was then new, this Lin 9000, and played all the guitars. And we cut it, we mixed it, cut a single. 7 Inches came back to the studio. It was a Friday night, and we were playing it back, and everything's cool. And Bob Seger stopped by to visit Don. And he comes in the control room, and everybody's having drinks and celebrating. The record's almost over. And Bob looked at Don, and he said, "That's a great record. Why didn't you sing it higher? Chicks love it when you sing high." Could have heard a pin drop. And Don looked at me, and he said, "What can we do?" And at the time, I had just gotten this new AMS. It had a harmonizer in it, pitch change. So I took an instrumental. I made an instrumental of the track off the multi-track and ran it through this thing and made a cassette with higher and higher and higher pitches of the track. And we went to Don's house and played the cassette for the weekend, basically, and having him sing. And he kept singing it higher, lower, higher, lower. Where does it feel the best? Where does it feel the strongest? And, you know, Henley's the kind of a singer that can really do that. Monday, came back to the studio. I played the cassette copy of the pitch that he liked, and I found out what the key was for that. And we recut the whole thing and re-sang it that week and remixed it and still made the release date. I still hear it on the radio and I still smile. It's a great, great record.
It is a great, great song. Boys of Summer always has been a great song. As we talk about everything almost on this show, we talk about everything almost. And, you know, that almost, you know, it varies. I haven't really been watching the Sean Ryan podcast because, you know, he's so anti-Trump at this point. But that's okay because he's on his way to finding what Jesus is all about and what God is all about and all of that. And you know, and good for him. You know, anyone, good for anyone. But this gentleman, the way he was honored and positioned to answer a question for Sean Ryan, it's one of the best illustrations that he's ever heard, and probably a lot of people have ever heard, including me. It's just a fantastic illustration to end the show today. About why Jesus had to die on the cross.
Fully understand why it had to happen. If he is God,
why couldn't he just forgive?
Exactly.
Yeah. My favorite way to illustrate this is by a story. So best illustration of why Jesus had to die on the cross I've ever heard. All right. It goes like this. Once upon a time, in a far off kingdom, there was a king who was known by everyone in the kingdom to be the most just and loving king who had ever lived. But then it was discovered that somebody was stealing from the king's treasury. And so the king, being a just king, he sent out an edict that whenever it was discovered who was stealing from the king's treasury, that person would receive 10 lashes. Well, the theft continued, and so he issued another decree. When it's discovered who's stealing from the king's treasury, it would be 20 lashes. Theft continued, 30 lashes, until finally the king issued a final decree, and he said, when it's discovered who's stealing from the king's treasury, it will be a sentence of 40 lashes. Now, the problem with that was that 40 lashes was a death sentence. And so the theft continued until eventually it was discovered that none other than the king's daughter was the one who was stealing from the treasury. So then a question began to ripple through the kingdom. What will the king do? Some thought he would forgive her, but then how would he be just? Some thought that he would issue the sentence, but then how would he be loving? The king sat down and decided, you know what? The sentence is just, the punishment must fall, and so the decree stands. And so one day the entire kingdom was gathered, and in front of everybody, the king's own daughter was marched up to the podium in front of the entire kingdom. And she was bent over the podium, and the back of her shirt was ripped open. And the executioner stood there, and he began to raise his whip to land the first slash. And as soon as he did, the king yelled, "Stop." And there was a silence that fell. And the king strode forward, and he took off his own shirt, and he bent over, and he wrapped his body around his own daughter, and looked back up over his shoulder, and he said, "Now hit her." And the executioner objected, and he said, "But king, those lashes, they'll fall on you." And he said, "The sentence must stand. It's just. Hit her." And so 40 lashes fell on the body of the king that protected the body of his daughter, and the king died in the stead of his daughter. And what happened, Sean, in that story is the king was both just because payment for the sin had to be made, and the king was the justifier of the ungodly. She went free because he took the penalty. See, the reason Jesus had to die on the cross is because God is just. And so payment for sin has to be made. Like if somebody walked into a courtroom and a judge just went, "You know what, man? You raped that girl when she was young, but you're real sorry, and I have the power to do it. You're forgiven." Nobody would think that was a just judge. So penalty for sin had to be made, but God is love. So he made the payment himself.
Okay.
Wow. It's an incredible explanation. My name is Daryl Arnold. You can go to darylarnold.us for all episodes and click on your favorite, and that's DARRELL Arnold.us. It is Hump Day Wednesday. I'll see y'all all at Cypress Point Resort all week long, as it is going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. And I'll be back in the air chair Friday morning, 6:30 a.m. We do it Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. See ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic. America First Talk at its best. Where we party the right way. See you next time. Or else.